Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode. We really appreciate you joining us. This podcast really shows us how we can all learn, live, and thrive off of each other. By sharing our knowledge through our conversations, we will impart some knowledge whilst learning ourselves how to progress even further. Here is your host.
Hello and welcome back to Around the World Today, where we dive into stories shaping our world and bring you insights that go beyond the headlines. I'm your host, Terry Davis, and we are continuing our exploration of the UK transport system. Today we are tackling a topic that has been hotly debated for years: the renationalisation of the UK's rail network. With rising fares, frequent delays, and fragmented service network, many are questioning whether the current model is fit for purpose. We'll be looking at how the railways work right now in 2024 and what lessons we can learn from our European countries and neighbours that have taken different approaches in managing their rail system. To understand where we might be heading, it's important first that we look where we are right now. The UK's rail network has been a patchwork of private operators since the privatisation wave in the 1990s. Under this system, private companies bid for the right to run services on different routes, while the tracks and infrastructure are maintained by a separate entity, currently called Network Rail, which is publicly owned. This model was supposed to bring competition, low fares, and better service. But in reality, it's been a mixed bag. Have you travelled on a train recently? Or even before the pandemic, it was quite bad then. It's even worse now, so I've heard. Oh, ah. To understand this, as of 2024, the UK rail system faces significant challenges. Commuters regularly complain about high ticket prices, overcrowded trains, and unreliable service. According to the data that was recently put out, rail fares have increased by more than 40% in the last decade, far outpricing wage growth. Meanwhile, government subsidies to the rail companies have risen, suggesting that the current model isn't delivering value for money that was promised. On top of this, the fragmentation of the system means that there's little coordination between different operators, leading to inefficiencies and confusion for the travelling passenger. So, what are the alternatives? It takes a lot. Let's take a look at how some European countries manage their rail networks. One of the most commonly cited examples is Germany, where the railways are operated by Deutsche Bahn, a state-owned company. Despite being government-owned, Deutsche Bahn runs a commercial entity with profits reinvigorated into the network. The model allows for a more integrated approach, with one organization overseeing both train services and infrastructure. This is the result is a more coordinated system that prioritizes efficiency and customer service. Let's talk about Deutsche Bahn. You may have heard of a rail company called Arriva Trains Wales, or Arriva Northwest, or Arriva whatever. Even bus companies. Arriva used to, up until a couple of months ago, was actually owned by Deutsche Bahn, the German state railway. They were running geolocal trains, probably, if you're in Wales. Up until 2018 or 2019, I believe. I had the mispleasure of travelling with them more than once. Another interesting example is Switzerland, which has one of the best regarded rail networks in the world. The Swiss Federal Railways, or SBB, is also state-owned, and the system is known for its punctuality, reliability, and extensive coverage. Switzerland's railways benefit from strong government investment and a focus on integrating different modes of transport, making it easy for passengers to switch between trains, buses, and trams. The Swiss model shows how public ownership can deliver high-quality services when combined with effective management and clear accountability. And so if we look closer to home, we can also look at Scotland, where the Scottish Government recently took ScotRail back into public ownership in 2022. This move was partially a response to widespread dissatisfaction with the previous private operator, Abillo. Shall we talk about Abillo, who were owned, up until recently, by the Dutch Federal Railway, or National Railway? Are we seeing a trend here, people? Which had faced criticism over poor service and management under public ownership. Scottish Government promised to prioritise passengers over profits, with a focus on improving service, reliability and affordability. It's still early days, but many are watching to see if Scotland can demonstrate a successful model for public rail operation in the UK. The same thing has happened here in Wales. Transport for Wales were privatised. So basically, the network moved from the control of the Department of Transport to Wales, to the Welsh Government, and then COVID happened and the company went bust, or almost went bust, and regained on the contract like in Scotland, and basically the government took over the day-to-day running of the trains of Transport for Wales. So we've talked about Transport for Wales as a body in the bus episode. There will be a later episode on Transport for Wales. But what does all this mean for the rest of the UK? the debate over nationalisation has been gaining traction for some, with some arguing that bringing the railways back into public ownership could address the issues of high fares, poor service, and lack of accountability. However, there are significant challenges to consider. Renationalisation would require a substantial amount of upfront investment, and there's no guarantee that a publicly owned system would automatically perform better. The success of a state-run railways in Europe and Scotland depends on effective management, adequate funding, and a strong commitment to public service. Isn't that funny that it seems to be everyone mentions a public service, but no one really talks to the public? We're told that they want to make a public service, but this is what the companies say to us as the travelling public, but they very rarely talk to the public. I've been on a customer panels for trains, I've been on one for buses and a few other things, but there's always the same select few of people at these things, I find, and 9 times out of 10 the company just doesn't want to listen to what the travelling public are saying. What's quite shocking, shall we say, because you go out of the way to run said events. It's worth considering that the UK's rail system is complex with a wide variety of services, from commuter trains in densely populated areas to long-distance routes across the country. Any move towards renationalisation would need to address this complexity, ensuring that all parts of the country receive the investment, attention that they need and deserve. One possible approach could be a hybrid model where the government takes a more active role in managing the network. That's what's happening now, actually. While still allowing private companies to operate services under strict regulations and oversight. This is what the Department of Transport are doing right now because of the COVID pandemic. The financial liability has been taken away from the rail operators and it's all being run like this. I like this one. As we look to the future, the question remains, how can we create a rail system that works for everyone, whether through renationalisation, reform of the current system, or a combined approach? It is clear that change is needed. The experiences of countries like Germany, Switzerland, even Scotland and Wales now show that public ownership can deliver high-quality, reliable rail services, but only when backed by effective management and a strong commitment to the public good. Before we close, let's consider the broader implications. The railways are more than just a means of getting to A to B. They are a vital part of our economy. our environment, and our daily lives. As the UK grapples with the challenges of the climate change, regional inequality, and post-pandemic recovery, the future of our rail network will play a crucial role in shaping the country we live in. Whatever path we choose, it's essential that we create a system that's not only efficient and reliable, but also fair, sustainable, and accessible for all. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Around the World Today. If you found this discussion insightful, don't miss our final episode in the series, where we will be exploring the concept of integrated transport networks and how they can revitalize the way we travel. Until then, keep questioning, keep exploring, and stay tuned for Around the World Today. And also stay curious.
This is the world we live in. This is the world we call our own. This is the time, and times are changing. This is the world we call our home. Feel the freedom. There's no limit to what we can do. Feel the freedom to fly. We both.
This is Terry Davis signing off. Take care and see you next time on Around the World Today.
This week's episode has come to an end. But the fun doesn't have to stop here. If you have any questions, suggestions, or feedback, head over right now to Twitter and Facebook and like, share, and get involved. Join us next time.